National interest. This event is brought to you by your superstation, Love 99.5.
Let's have a conversation as usual with them right now and see what we should take away from their schools today. And I'm going to go straight to this beautiful lady coming from Our Lady of Grace. Mention your name and what we should take away from your school today.
My name is Gladys Seram Abayate, the WDS President for Our Lady of Grace 2024-2025 batch. And I'd like to say the race is not always for the swift, and we are here with our best to give our best. Thank you.
All right, let me also go to this lady here from KNUST. And what's your name and what should also we take from KNUST, I must say?
My name is Margarita Ekuya-Hezo, the main girls prefect for the school, and I do believe that we'll emerge victorious. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to end at the doorsteps of OLAG again, this time to their patron. What would a victory today mean for your school?
It will mean everything, because once again we'll be heading towards semi-finals and then to the finals as we did last year. So KNUST, watch out, you are coming.
And your name?
I'm Margaret Oferiwa, WDS patron for Our Lady of Grace Senior High School.
All right, so you heard from Auntie Maggie, but I must also let you know that we do this in collaboration with the Christian Service University, the Ghana Education Service, the Conference of Affairs of Assisted Senior High Schools, the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, our proud sponsors, and everybody, of course, joining us right now on social media, TV, and radio. My name is Patricia. David is at the auditorium, so I'm handing over to him now.
Well, thank you very much, Patricia Amabonzu. And if you're excited to be in this auditorium this afternoon, please, a round of applause for Patricia Amabonzu, to your patrons and the students that she engaged with a while ago. I'm indeed grateful to you. Thank you. Also, help me say a big thank you to our partners in the GES Ashanti, the Ashanti Regional SRC, CHAS, and of course the Christian Service University. Help me say thank you to them by putting your hands together as well. And to those watching us on television, that is on Joy Prime and Joy Learning, to those watching us on Facebook on Love 99.5, and those listening to us right now on radio, show them some love for me as well. Welcome to Contest 1 in the quarterfinal stage of the 2025 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. And as you're very much aware, this is the biggest debate platform you can find anywhere in Ghana. And this has been put together by the multimedia group here in the Ashanti region. This is Love 99.5. With that out of the way, we'd like to say a big thank you to some of our sponsors. I'll run you through a few of them, after which Patricia and Becca would also be telling you much more about some other sponsors. So let me start with Yas Toothpaste. How many of you in this auditorium did not brush today? Yeah, you all brushed. That's good. So tomorrow, if you want to go on and brush again, use the Yas Toothpaste. Now, it offers a complete oral health solution with 3 variants: the Yas Total Care, the Yas Whitening, and the Yas Herbal. It is formulated to protect against cavities, tooth decay, plaques, and of course, bad breath. Yas Toothpaste also promotes a brighter smile, healthy gums, and stronger teeth. For maximum protection, always use Yas Toothpaste with Yas toothbrushes, which are available nationwide. Yas, caring brand for a caring family. Now, last week there was a gentleman who was seated by a lady, a female student, and then he was talking to the lady, and I realized that the lady walked away. So when I got to the foyer, I asked the lady, "Why did you walk away from the gentleman?" You know what she said to me? Halitosis, bad breath. If you use Yas toothpaste, all the ladies will come to you and engage with you and talk to you. Let's say a big thank you also to the Jackson University College. Now, the Jackson Institute of Innovation and Leadership, that is JIL, in partnership with the British Council, the IELTS, and of course IDP, are offering the IELTS tuition in Ghana for those aiming to work or study abroad. They provide in-person and online classes. JIL also has a Study in Quebec, Canada program for English fluent or French learning children aged between 5 to 15. Now, they assist with documentation and offer flexible rates. Find their campus at number 4 Jackson Street at Aidiase near KNUST. The email address is learn@jail.edu.gh, or you can also visit www.jail.edu.gh for more details. Jackson University College, hope for a brighter future. Also on the market is what we call the H&H 4-in-1 Gary Mix. So if you're looking for a quick, tasty, and satisfying snack, don't worry, the H&H 4-in-1 Gary Mix is there to sort you out. It is a perfect answer to that question. Now, this popular choice features crispy Gary creamer, roasted groundnuts, and sugar. Just add water, preferably Verna mineral water, and stir. And there you go, you have something amazing to munch on. The H&H company has also added the H&H Choco Malt Gari Soakings and the H&H Soya Gari Soakings to the family. Grab these affordable H&H Gari Mix products in shops nationwide. H&H 4-in-1 Gari Mix. It is a perfect mix of crunch, flavor, and fun. So EcoBank Ghana is also a proud sponsor of the 2025 edition of the Love FM High Schools Debate. And they are here and they're telling you that many Ghanaians are unaware of essential emergency numbers, including those for financial crisis. However, EcoBank has introduced a new money emergency number, that is *770#. Now, this service provides instant access to crucial financial services like loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime, and data purchases. Now, even without an internet connection, dial *770# today and get immediate financial assistance. EcoBank, for your information, ladies and gentlemen, they are the Pan-African Bank. Let's also say a very big thank you to Bonvas Tours. Now, Bonvas Tours is your reliable partner for travel, work or study abroad aspirations. They provide extensive services like visa assistance, hotel and flight bookings, guided tours, corporate travels, and school excursions. With over 10 years' experience, they make travel documentation and consultation stress-free. Bonvas Tours also has paid internships in Japan for IT students and hospitality jobs in the United States of America, Spain, and France. Locate them near the Victory Baptist Church, Aja, or you can visit www.bonvastours.com. Bonvas Tours, the joy of tourism. Now, a big thank you also to the Christian Service University for supporting us all these years. And they are admitting students for the 2025-2026 academic year. Undergraduate and master's programs are offered at CSU with morning, evening, and weekend schedules. CSU provides half scholarship to prospective students with an aggregate of 6 to 15. You can find CSU at Star Junction, Santase. You can also visit csu.edu.gh for admissions and other inquiries. CSU, faith, scholarship, and integrity. At this time, I'd like to say a big good afternoon to Patricia Amabunsu. Pat, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David. I hope you're doing well.
I'm very well, and thanks for asking. And of course, to my left, I have Lady Becca. Bex, what's up?
You know, everything's up, the sky is up, the sun is
all
up.
Too soon, the quarterfinals are here.
Oh, yes.
You tell me, how has the contest been like for you so far, and what are your expectations as the quarterfinals begins?
It's been wonderful, and I can't wait to finally get to the finals. I mean, may the best school win today. A round of applause for yourselves, everyone. With that out of the way, we'd like to say a big thank you to Amanono Rural Bank PLC Limited, which offers commercial, salary, auto, personal, group, SME, Agric, and Nkoswo microfinance loans. They also operate different accounts and Enidaswo Susu Savings. Receive your local and international money transfers from us. We are headquartered at Nginahini opposite the lorry station. Find us also at Mrum, Estresso, Abuakwa, Tafo, BBNE, and Asafu Market near the VVIP bus terminal. Amanono Rural Bank PLC, service beyond expectation.
A big thank you is also going out to Zwan. We have introduced the Zwan luncheon meat, our cocktail sausages, and also hot dogs. It is your secret to delicious, yummy, and energetic meals. It is also perfect for spaghetti, noodles, salad, burgers, sandwiches, and many other dishes. Now, Zwan offers both taste and nutrition, and so you can select from any of our flavors. That's chicken, beef, turkey, hot, and spicy ones. Now, Zwan products are also available at KJTR Dubai Market. Yes, go to every shop there and you find Zwan there. Dr. Mensa too, we have Zwan products available at Doom and every supermarket nationwide. Zwan, grab one today and have its wonderful taste.
Now, for high quality, customized, elegant, and affordable wedding, engagement, or promise rings, visit St. Ben Jewelry. We design white, yellow, rose gold, and silver rings, earrings, bracelets, wristwatches, and other accessories. We also offer special flexible payment terms for couples. Locate us at Amakom opposite Edward Nassa and Adum Chelsea House opposite Standard Chartered Bank. St. Ben Jewelry, just dream it and it will be done.
I'm also happy to introduce to you Palm University College. We are admitting prospective students for our BSc and MSc options in Business Information Technology, Business Administration, Computer Science, Information Technology Management, Health Services Management, and Leadership programs. We have an experienced faculty, a stimulating environment, and also subsidized school fees so that everybody can attend Palm University. Remember also that you can undertake a one-semester exchange program at Oklahoma University. university in the United States of America. If you want more details about Palm University College, log on to www.palm.edu.gh or locate our campus at Manya, Jokpanya, Shire Hills in the Greater Accra region. Palm University College, we say, become a Palmer today and succeed.
We also say a big thank you to Dunamis Plus, which provides quality, affordable, and fire-resistant interior and exterior security, bulletproof PVC interior and waterproof doors for homes, schools, offices, and other institutions. Our wooden doors come with frames, panels, and accessories. We also have beautiful furniture from Turkey. Find us at Anhojo Atinga Junction off the Lameta Road, town also opposite the Catholic Church, and Buonho close to the Cars Quarry Factory. Dunamis Plus, we give you real value for your money.
Otiasikan Royal Bank is also with us on the Love FM High Schools debate. They are making sure that when you come to them, they can get you a current savings, fixed deposit, SUSU, or an infant savings account. We also give the fastest loans with the lowest interest rate on the market. Come to us for your Western Union, Eastwich, iTrans, mobile money, and Ghana Pay electronic transfers. Locate our head office at Kofiase, but we have other branches at Asante Mampong, Ejra, Sipebuo Krom, Abofo, Makro, Swame, and King Kenso, and also Dr. Mensah. Otiasikan Royal Bank, we are your savior in rural banking.
We also say a big thank you to ABA Herbal Center, which specializes in the treatment of glaucoma, cataract, long and short-sightedness, and every kind of eye problem. If you experience menstrual disorder, hypertension, stroke, prostate, liver, and kidney-related diseases, we are here to help you. Visit ABA Herbal today in Kumasi at Kwadaso Ejunase behind the main market, and at Doma Ahinkro, we are near the Ebenezer Preschool adjacent Apia Kubi Cold Store.
We also say Aiko to Daxa Dental Clinic, where they are making sure that you and I and the person watching us from home and also on social media enjoy a 10% discount of a wide range of specialist dental services, which include extraction, cleaning, polishing, filling, braces, bad breath treatment, and also they use ultra-modern digital x-rays for accurate diagnosis. Daxa Dental works from Mondays to Saturday, and even on Sundays, they work from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Book an appointment today at any of our branches located at IPT, opposite the first gate of Amstead, Ameko. We are inside the city-style building, and Ahojo opposite Latex Foam. Daxa Dental Clinic, we say smile with confidence.
Now, we also say a big thank you to Trade Winds Chemist. They are the producers of the most effective anti-malarial treatment, Tramatem. And Tramatem is an artemisinin-based product which contains artemether and lumefantrine. The 24 blister pack of Tramatem tablets is a 6-dose full course treatment for malaria. Consult your doctor if symptoms do persist after 3 days.
And before David takes it away from us, let's say thank you to Best Brain Publications, because we know that every child with a good future depends on the foundation that is laid for them at the basic level. And so if you are a school, a parent, or a guardian, and you're looking for quality NACA and GES approved textbooks, make your way to Best Brain Publications today, located at Pankrono Kumasi. Best Brain Publications, we are securing tomorrow's academic well-being today.
So
David.
Becca and Patricia, please, thank you very much, and a round of
You're
applause
welcome,
for the two
David.
ladies. Thank you so much. Now, for your information, we have the ambassador and also the chairperson for this event with us. We've got a panel of judges all seated. We have our accurate timekeeper also with us. And so it tells you that all is set for the very first contest in the quarterfinal stage of the 2025 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. OLAG. OLAG. Adumma. Okay. Emmanuel. Emmanuel. Nyansapo. You're all warmly welcome this afternoon. And those were students from Our Lady of Grace Senior High School and of course KNUST, and they are here. That is KNUST Senior High School. Let me introduce to you the ambassador and also the chairperson for the event. Now, she's somebody who loves education, and she's been in the business for several years. And so let's say between 1979 and 1992, she was the assistant head mistress of Kumasi High School. Then she moved on in 1992 and became the pioneering head mistress of KNUST JHS till 2008. Then in 2009, she formed the Jackson Educational Complex with her husband, which is now the Jackson University College. Jackson University College has over 22,000 graduates, and they are now offering a master's program as well. Jackson University has a new department called the Jackson Institute of Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, please, with a round of applause, show some love to the ambassador and chairperson, Mrs. Theodosia Jackson. Good afternoon to you, ma'am, and thanks as always for your time. Now, with that out of the way, I'd like to introduce to you our panel of judges. Now, each and every time we have 3 judges. Now, they are here to listen attentively to the debaters and score accordingly. Now, in a bit, the lead judge will join us and tell us how they score and also will share with us the rules of engagement. But I would like to tell you this. I know it's not new to you, but let me just, say it anyway. These 3 judges will be scoring for the debaters. Now, for a school to advance, we have what we call the unanimous decision, and that is to say that all the 3 judges scored for the winning school that advances. Then we have what we call the majority decision, which means that 2 out of the 3 judges scores for a particular school. So when the results are being announced, and you, for example, here a school having a certain mark that is higher than another school that we say has qualified, is because of the majority decision. Have that at the back of your mind. Let me now introduce to you a panel of judges. And to start from my far right, I have Professor Martin Kujo Akote. Now, he's a political sociologist and an associate professor of governance and development studies. Prof is currently serving as director of the Valley View University Kumasi campus. Ladies and gentlemen, please show him some love for me. Prof Martin Kujo Akote, thanks very much, Prof, for your time with us this afternoon. Let me skip the fine gentleman in the middle and move to my left. And he is Professor Anthony Kofi Osei-Fosu. He's an associate professor at the Department of Economics at KNUST. Now, he has taught for well over 30 years, and he is here as one of our judges as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please show some love to Professor Anthony Kofi Osei-Fosu. And Prof, good afternoon to you as well. Grateful to you for making time to be with us. Now, the next judge is the lead judge for the Love FM High Schools debate. Now, he is the former head of the English department and former head of the Language and Communication Sciences department at the KNUST. He delves into textuality, that is oral and written, as well as all kinds of text. Ladies and gentlemen, please, with a round of applause and some love, put your hand together for Dr. Peter Arthur. Now, having introduced Prof to you, I'd like to call him to mount the podium to grab the microphone and give us some information as to how they go about their scoring, and also tell us about the rules of engagement. If you're ready to receive that information and message, please put your hands together for Prof as I hand over the microphone to him. Good afternoon, Prof.
Good afternoon, David. Madam Chair, this exercise is meant to build wisdom in the young ones, and that is exactly what we are doing. And with your permission, I give the scores and then the rules of engagement. Now, with the scores, my dear students, we have 5 parameters: organization and clarity, argument and development, effective use of rebuttal, presentation style, role as a particular debater. Now, with organization and clarity, as you know, how you start, how you move on, and how you land. The first speaker is taking 15 marks for that. The second speaker is taking 10 marks for that. And then the summary is supposed to be 5 marks. Argument and development. At this stage, you've moved higher. There are a lot of things that you know already. But we are more interested in your language, your appeal to people, to listeners, based upon values, based upon ethics, based upon emotions, good language to convince people. So now we are very interested in persuasion. It's not only logic, but persuasion as well. The first speaker is taking 15 marks, second is taking 10 marks, and then the summary is going for 5 marks. Effective use of rebuttal, we know it already. You just have to convince us that what the other person is saying is not the right type of reasoning. And the first speaker is taking 5 marks, the second is taking 10 marks, and then the summary is going for 5 marks. Presentation style, please. Apart from the fact that it's got to do with the way you engage with your listeners and the audience and the way you use the platform and all that, please, let me plead with you. don't rush us, because a lot of people are listening. And then if you rush, they don't hear a word of what you're saying. Take your time and speak naturally. Flow naturally, as if you are having some conversation. You understand? Okay. So the first speaker is taking 5 marks here. And then the second speaker is taking 3 marks. And then the third speaker, the summary is going for 2 marks. Role as a particular debater. Of course, the first debater must be the stronger between the two. And then the second debater comes in to support him or her. Now, let's go for other rules, which we call rules of engagement. The principal speaker on the affirmative team presents argument in support of the motion, 10 minutes for that. The principal speaker on the opposing team presents argument opposing the resolution, 10 minutes for that. The second speaker on the affirmative team presents further argument in support of the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by opposition speaker. That is 7 minutes for that. And then the second speaker on the opposing team presents further arguments against the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and takes the opportunity to answer some questions that may have been raised by the previous affirmative speaker. 7 minutes for that. And then the principal speaker on the affirmative team comes with closing statements to their argument without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if there is any. You have 5 minutes for that. Then the principal speaker on the opposing team comes with closing statement to their arguments without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttal if necessary. 5 minutes for that. Please note, every speaker must be audible, and at this stage I always tell the students that take the microphone close to the mouth, okay? Yes, and there cannot be any interruption, because every debater must have his turn. The principal speaker is raising 5 points, okay, or less. It depends. And then the supporting speaker is raising 3 points or less. Now let's have these external rules. He who asserts must prove. You know the game and you know the deal. So in order to establish an assertion, the team must support whatever you have with enough facts and evidence. And of course, facts and evidence must be accurate. Examples of visual materials are permissible, and once introduced, they become available for the opponent's use if so desired. And tangible evidence must be tendered as exhibits to support facts. And then in rebuttals, the debater rebutting may ask any constructive and clear question that has a direct bearing on the point raised. The one rebutting must confine him or herself to questions, not to make any statement, comment, or to ask any rhetorical question. Supporters from both sides are to exercise discipline. And that means that we are not supposed to induce, intimidate, or frustrate the opposing speaker. Failure of that will result in marks being deducted from your scores. And then the debaters must respect time. And when we are bailed out, you must end your presentation. Otherwise, you will lose some marks. In a case of tie, the two schools involved will be given a motion to debate within 2 days, that is 48 hours. This is very important. It's been said and I'm repeating it. The score of one judge cannot overturn that of 2 judges. There is either a majority decision from the judges, meaning 2 judges out of the 3 score for a school. There could also be a unanimous decision, meaning all 3 judges scored for a school. Now, if you have any problem whatsoever, you turn to the producer of the program. There he is The fine gentleman behind you there, 10 back, is raised the hand. Yes, he's called Mr. Eugene Osetutu. Okay. And then at the 116 stage, motions will be given to schools 2 clear days before the contest. David, I'm through.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Peter Arthur. Today, I'm trying to be a very good boy. So you realize I have not mentioned any of the nicknames today. And it's for a very special reason. But I think all of them deserve a round of applause. So please, show them some love. Thank you so much. And thank you very much, Dr. Peter Arthur. So as you're aware, we've entered the quarterfinal stage of the 2025 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. And from today, we're going to be having 1 contest each day. Previously, we would have had 2 contests per day or each day. But as we've entered the quarterfinal stage, there's going to be 1 contest each day. So if you are watching us right now on your television, be it on Joy Prime or Joy Learning or maybe on Facebook, and you know somebody who's doing something aside from watching these young ones come to exhibit their prowess when it comes to debate, send a text message to that person. Place a call to that person and tell the person, listen, the debate is just about to begin. Turn on your television, go onto Facebook and drop comments there, or turn on your radio and enjoy this beautiful contest between Our Lady of Grace Senior High School and, of course, KNUST Senior High School. So let's start the process to usher in the debaters. For your information, the motion is the United Nations has failed in its mission to maintain global peace and security. Our Lady of Grace are for the motion. KNUST Senior High are against the motion. OLAG for the motion. KNUST against the motion. So let's now go through the rituals. OLAG. OLAG. And now Adoma. Please stand. Sing for us your school anthem, after which we can then invite your debaters to mount the podium, take their seats, and when it's their turn, they will also, grab the microphone and debate. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to sing for us your school's anthem? I can't hear you. Are you ready? Yes. Good. That's the spirit. And of course, you'll be assisted by Uncle Collins. He's got your anthem ready. All you need to do is to follow his lead. So if you say you're ready and you want to prove to us all that you're ready to sing your school anthem, let's do it on 3. 1, 2, go. All right, so pardon us a bit of English, but I'm sure he's going to sort it out shortly. Well, that's the spirit, I like the smiles on your faces when you were singing, and I like the energy with which you sang your school anthem. So with that same energy, let's put your hands together and welcome your debaters. The principal speaker is Uzoya Fadina Sule, supported by Jessica Asikibin. 2 ladies descending the stairs, and in no time we'll be mounting the podium, we're taking their seats, And when it's their turn, they will debate for us this afternoon. Ladies, good afternoon to you. Trust you're well. Your seats are comfortable. They say, yes, all is well. For the last time, a round of applause for them. Thank you. Now let's go to KNUST Senior High. Imagine Nyansapo. Please stand. I can see some of you having the rosary around your wrists. I can see some of you making the sign of cross. You believe in a higher being. All right, so you're standing because you are about to sing for us your school anthem as well. Unfortunately, you don't have, what do you call it? An anthem recorded so we can play it for you. But I'm sure that you are ready to sing for us your school anthem as well, and you're ready to sing it with the pride and joy. So if you're ready, on my count, 1, 2, go. Well, I don't know what you people were fed today, but whatever it was we were fed, I wish I could also enjoy same, because it's giving you a lot of energy. One more time, round of applause for yourselves. With that out of the way, let's welcome your debaters. Now, the principal speaker is Ernestina Owusu-Sechere. The supporting speaker is Nikwao Togbo. And from where I'm standing, I can see them descending the stairs. 2 more stairs to go. Now they're about to climb the stairs, which they've done, and they're taking their seats. And I see that any comfortable. Welcome to the Love FM High Schools debate. Welcome to the quarterfinal stage. It is live on television, Joy Prime, and Joy Learning. It's live on Facebook on Love 99.5. It is equally live on radio on Love 99.5. Ladies and gentlemen, Our Lady of Grace, they are for the motion. KNUST Senior High School, they are against the motion. Now, this is the motion. The United Nations has failed in its mission to maintain global peace and security. Madam Chairperson, with your permission, can we set the ball rolling for the debate? She's giving the thumbs up. Panel of judges, are you ready as well? Today, there's no balance in terms of ratio. They're all gentlemen, and they are here. They say they are ready. Debaters, are you ready? They say they are ready. Accurate timekeeper, Mr. Emmanuel Koji, are you ready? He says he is. Now, to the debaters, you know him already. But let me just, for the sake of emphasis, go through it for you. So when you are halfway through your presentation, this is what Emmanuel will do for you. And when your time is entirely up, again, this is what you would hear. What I say, no? So that's Emmanuel Koji there for you, accurate timekeeper. A round of applause for him, for me as well. He's here to do a very good job for us all. So let's now invite the principal speaker from Our Lady of Grace to start the debate. Wunzoya Fadina Sule is her name.
Imagine a student who sits for the WASI and earns 2 A's, perhaps in physics and chemistry, but the rest, solid F's. Now, F's mean that the student had between 0 to 39%. We all know that 0 to 39% is a fail, no matter how much effort went into it. Sure, 39% is not easy to come by at all. It means the child tried. But in the end, the report says what it says. The child failed overall. This is exactly how we must view the United Nations. Yes, it has scored its A's in global vaccination campaigns, disaster coordination, diplomacy here and there. But in the end, its core mandate is maintaining peace and security globally. And in this particular subject, it has racked up too many F's in Syria, Gaza, Sudan, and beyond. The world has witnessed its silence, stalling, and selective action. So just as we wouldn't say that student is a success because of 2 A's, let us not pretend that the United Nations has passed just because of a few victories. A few wins do not erase a losing streak. The chair, esteemed panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, colleague debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I am Wunzoya Fadina Sule, the proud principal speaker for Our Lady of Grace Senior High School, here to defend vehemently the motion that, quote and unquote, the United Nations has failed in its mission of maintaining global peace and security. The chair, let's unpack this motion. The UN is an abbreviation for the United Nations, an international organization founded on 24th October 1945, designed to end war and promote peace, justice, and better living for all humankind. Failed is the past tense of the verb fail, and it is defined according to the Cambridge Dictionary as to not succeed in what you are trying to achieve or are expected to achieve. According to Dragon 1, mission refers to the core purpose of an organization or a company. Oxford Learner's Dictionary defines maintain as to keep something at the same level and standard. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, global means relating to the whole world. The United Nations defines peace as dignity, well-being, not just the absence of war. According to humansecuritycause.info, security involves much more than just the absence of conflict. It includes safety from chronic threats such as hunger, diseases, and repressions. The chair, what this motion basically means is that the United Nations has not succeeded in its core purpose of ensuring not only the absence of war, but safety from hunger, diseases, repressions, and indignity. And a premier point in favor of this motion is that the United Nations has failed to set realistic goals for themselves. Pay attention. In the year 2000, the United Nations adopted the Millennium Development Goals, which are the MDGs. These were a set of 8 goals, which included eradicating poverty and hunger completely from the world, as well as promoting gender equality and women empowerment, all by the end of 2015. Guess what? The United Nations failed to achieve these very standards it had set for itself, because by the end of 2015, 836 million people were still living in extreme poverty, and in member states of the UN like Pakistan, Iran, Afghanistan, and Chad, there was little to no women empowerment or gender equality. The chair, we acknowledge that the rates of these issues had been reduced to some extent, but the UN did not promise to reduce rates. It promised to eradicate these issues completely from the face of the earth by 2015, which it obviously failed to do. So, the United Nations decided to modify the MDGs and slap a new label on them. Guess the name: Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. The chair, the funny thing is, these goals are even more unrealistic. No hunger, zero poverty, clean water and sanitation, all by the end of 2030. It's been 10 years, just 5 more years to go. Yet, we can all attest to the fact that there is still poverty, hunger, poor sanitation in many parts of this world. The chair and the house, the United Nations has failed. Our second point is that the United Nations has failed to check the 5 permanent members of the Security Council. The chair, let's take this analogy. The United Nations is the mother of all the countries in the world, and it has these 5 powerful sons, the P5, which are the permanent members of the Security Council, namely China, Russia, the United States of America, the United Kingdom, and France. Now, when these 5 strong sons decide to bully the weaker children, the mother stays aloof. Let me give you evidence. According to an article published on the 18th of October 2023 by the United Nations themselves, they stated, quote, Security Council fails to adopt resolution calling for humanitarian pauses in Israel-Gaza crisis. unquote, the United States of America, blinded by its political ties to Israel, vetoed against the UN sending help to Gaza. Jessica, please come and flip the handout for my judges and my opponents to see. This handout that Jessica is about to flip contains the 281 number of times that the UN has blocked resolutions to save lives. This unchecked veto of the P5 has effectively stopped the UN from maintaining global peace and security many times. Our third point is that there is marginalization of the majority of the member states of the UN. The composition of the UN Security Council gives 5 countries the absolute power to overrule resolutions approved of by all other countries, effectively sidelining and neglecting these countries. Is this not bullying? But Imajima thinks otherwise. Today, most of these marginalized states are important players in international diplomacy. However, the key challenge that these states face relates to structural barriers to their effective participation in diplomacy and policy making at the United Nations, regardless of the particular substantive issue at hand. How can the decisions of 5 outweigh the voices of 188? Countries like Syria, Palestine, and Iran are suffering, yet their issues are rarely addressed. The chair, we are not saying that their issues are never addressed, but they are rarely addressed by the Security Council unless they align with the interests of the 5 permanent members. The chair, how is this maintaining global peace and security when these 188 countries are left to suffer while only 5 enjoy? Our fourth point is that corruption undermines the UN from within. The House, I am fully aware that my opponents will mount this podium to bring up the usual excuse of underfunding to defend the UN's failure in maintaining global peace and security. It is an illusion to cover up their involvement in corruption scandals. Oh yes, the UN also engages in corruption. Allow me to review the rods beneath the surface. A classical example is the Oil for Food program, which was implemented by the United Nations in April 1995. This was to allow Iraq to sell oil on the global market in exchange for food, medicine, and other humanitarian services for ordinary Iraqi citizens. The chair, according to information from Akila Al-Hashimi, who was the senior bureaucrat overseeing the program, it stated, quote, out of the program's total of $60 billion US, roughly 65% was applied to aid, unquote. Over 193 so-called electrical consultants each received $15,000 a day, yet the electricity only worked for a few hours every day. Not only this, but also, according to an interim report done by the Independent Inquiry Committee, it stated plainly that, quote, much of the food aid supplied was unfit for human consumption, unquote. The chair, the House, I would like to ask this question. Are these the results of the humanitarian aid the UN promised? One would have thought that this program was a form of humanitarian assistance, but no, it was a betrayal of the international community's trust, as well as the innocent Iraqi citizens. The House, we are not dismissing the 65% that was used to aid the citizens, but we are addressing the 35% that was buried due to mismanagement. This mismanagement does not only have to do with Iraq, but also Finland, as they have even seen the deep cracks in the UN and are taking action. Corruption undermines the work of the UN, thereby leading to its inability to maintain global peace and security. Our fifth and final point in support of this motion is that the United Nations often engages in selective actions and biases. The UN always comes out to say that equality is one of their core principles, yet they have failed to abide by this principle every single time. A few years ago, the UN was quick to aid Ukrainian refugees and assist Poland in accommodating them. But sadly, they ignored the thousands of displaced Rwandans in the The chair of the House, I rest my case.
the ever-wise chair, impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, good day. I respond to the name Owusu Sechere Echa Ernestina, standing before you today as the principal speaker, representing KNUST Senior High School, to boldly oppose the motion, quote, the United Nations has failed in its mission to maintain global peace and security, unquote. The chair, before I commence my argument, please permit me to explain the key terms in the motion for the benefit of everyone. The UN is an acronym for United Nations. According to the UN.com, it is an international organization that was founded on 24th October 1945 with a current membership of 193 member states. Has failed, as used in the motion, could mean has not succeeded. Wikipedia defines global peace as a concept of an ideal state of peace within and among all people and nations on earth. The CambridgeDictionary.org defines security as protection of a person, building, organization, or country from against threat, such as crime or attack by foreign country. According to the UN.org, the mission of UN include maintaining international peace and security, among others. The chair, the House. All in all, the motion seeks to suggest that the UN has not succeeded in keeping or sustaining global peace and security, of which my supporting speaker and I are vehemently against. We proceed with our first point. The UN has led to the prevention of World War III. Before the formation of this international body, the world had experienced the most tragic wars ever in the history of humanity. The world had experienced the First World War from 1914 to 1918, and the Second World War from 1939 to 1945, where humanity was annihilated like flies. The chair, the House. Let's all kindly watch this video.
At Nordhausen. Here, a mere handful were found alive while the Americans overran the area. War is not a pretty thing at best, but no words can express the world's disgust at Germany's organized carnage. Some laid down the bodies of the dead.
Mass graves were everywhere. Humanity was treated like trash. Human lives were nothing. Panel of judges, statistics from World War II show that approximately a total number of 70 to 85 million people were killed. The worst of human tragedy ever in history. My opponents, let me ask you, even Ghana, what is our total population? The chair, Ghana has a total population of 34,427,414. I'm talking about more than twice of entire Ghana was wiped away from the surface of the earth. The chair, just like that. Thankfully, for almost 80 years since the formation of the United Nations, the world has not experienced this worst form of catastrophe. My opponents, is this what you tag as has failed? Hey, then I wonder how your has succeeded will look like. Point 2. The UN always plays critical roles in conflict prevention and mediation. The UN is always swift and proactive in its mediation. The chair, with this, I provide Russian-Ukraine war as a case study. On 23rd to 24th February 2022, Russia launched an attack against Ukraine. Let me point out few instances of the many mediation roles UN provided. The launch was on 23rd to 24th. On 25th February, the UN appointed Amin Awad as the General Secretary of the United Nations to serve as the UN coordinator. On 28th, the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court opened an investigation against war crimes and crimes against humanity. On 2nd March, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution deploring the aggression committed by Russia against Ukraine. The chair, the House, if I am to go into full detail account of this 21-page document, which gives full account of how far UN has gone in mediating and preventing a full-scale war between Russia and Ukraine, I tell you, the House, my opponents will be bumping their heads like a gamma lizards falling from a coconut tree. Thanks to these mediations and interventions, the Russian-Ukraine war didn't blow into a full-scale war, leading to other nations getting involved. Point 3. Thanks to UN, the world continues to enjoy peace. Panel of judges from worldatlas.com, there are 195 countries in the world. Of these 195 countries, 193 are members of the UN. Now, my opponents, let me ask you, how many of these countries are at war, either with themselves or with their neighbors? The chair, currently, as we speak, we can talk of the Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel-Palestine war, and the recent one, the Israel-Iran war. These are the only international wars my opponents can talk about. But my question to them, if of 193 countries and there are only 3 unfortunate instances, are there enough basis to conclude that the UN has failed in its mission? Is this not faulty reasoning, a hasty conclusion, and a mere overgeneralization? The chair, if a mother of 193 children manages to keep 188 obedient and responsible, do you call that mother a failure? If this logic is what my opponent wants us to accept, then I wonder how many responsible parents we could have in this country. The chair, the house. Our strong conviction is that the UN has not failed in its mission. Point 4, the UN has contributed to a decline in armed conflicts since the end of World War II. The UN has consistently given highest priority to reducing and eventually eliminating nuclear weapons, destructive chemical weapons, and strengthening the prohibition of biological weapons, all of which pose a dire threat to humankind. Some of these treaties include the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons, the treaty banning nuclear weapon tests in the atmosphere, in outer space, and underwater. The chair, before the formation of the United Nations, a bomb could strike, and not only human beings are destroyed, even the land could not be used for anything. Panel of judges, imagine this from International Campaign to Avoid Nuclear Weapons.org. 2 nuclear weapons could kill 140,000 people and 70,000 in these 2 cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, at the same time in 1945. Till this day, victims had to suffer diseases such as leukemia, cancer, and other terrible side effects from the radiation. The chair, thanks to UN, the world doesn't have to relive this horrible experience, and my opponents, this is not failure. Point 5, the UN imposed sanctions on nations involved in war to maintain international peace and security. The sanctions, as outlined in the UN Charter, are intended as alternative to the use of force and are implemented to influence the behavior of states or actors involved in conflict. UN sanctions can include measures like the asset freezes, travel bans, arms embargoes, and many others. Besides these, the UN can also indirectly influence their member states and other sub-regional bodies to impose sanctions on recalcitrant nations and their allies. The chair, the house, Russia is a classic example. As we speak, it has suffered many sanctions from the UN since its invasion of Ukraine, including condemnation and suspension for being a member of the Human Rights Council. As if that was not enough, Russia was also withdrawn from the 2022 World Cup with immediate effect. All clubs from Russia were also banned from playing international footballs. And unfortunately, even their millionaire football club owner of Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich, was forced to sell his football club. Even Belarus, their ally, suffered same sanctions. The chair, in effect, a UN sanction makes a member nation an outcast until that nation chooses to smoke peace pipe with itself and with its neighbors. My opponents, is this what you regard as failure? Then I will be expecting an answer. The chair, the house rebuttals. My opponents, I want to make this clear to you. A few wins doesn't mean a losing streak. You asserted that the UN has failed to set holistic goals for themselves. But the house, this is a total fallacy. If they have failed to set holistic goals, then how come they have institutions who have special duties to maintain global peace and security? I'll be expecting an answer. Wonsoya, you asserted that the UN has not been able to eradicate hunger. The UN is not God to eradicate total hunger in the world. At least they provide support to refugees after war. You said that, if I heard you well, you asserted that there's marginalization of some nations, blah, blah, blah. But this is a fallacious assertion. Russia is a very powerful country, but they've received numerous sanctions from the UN. You also said that corruption undermines UN from within. This is a 10 on 10 minus nothing fallacy. Because as far as the world is concerned, UN is everywhere. Russian-Ukraine war is a classic case. The UN sanctioned Russia and provided aid to Ukraine. The chair, the house, per the irrefutable points I have raised, I rest my case.
Born from the ashes of World War II, the United Nations pledged never to let the world burn again. But today, the United Nations is not a guardian to peace, but a spectator to slaughter. My opponents will say that the UN intervenes, yes, but only when it is convenient to powerful nations. The chair and the House, that is not and will never be peacekeeping. That is hypocrisy on a global stage. And anyone standing here today to defend that does not defend peace, but defends betrayal. Get ready, because we did not come here today just to prove a point. We came here to clear the illusion of successes that the UN hides behind. The chair, adjudication panel, man of the pendulum, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I am Jessica Asakibim, supporting speaker of Our Lady of Grace Senior High School, here to speak for the motion, quote and unquote. The UN has failed in its mission of maintaining global peace and security. The chair of the House, to our very first point, the UN's delayed response to peacekeeping missions has led to its failure. The House, what is peacekeeping? Peacekeeping, according to UN, involves deploying international personnel, typically under UN authority, to prevent or contain conflict. But do you know what peacekeeping is not, Majema? Arriving late to count corpses. And that is what the UN is gradually getting known for. According to the Second Congo War of 1998, the UN keepers claimed they had arrived as early as possible. Yet, when they arrived, over 6 million lives have already been lost, the chair and the House. These are not figures from me. This is from Al Jazeera, published on the 21st of February, 2024. Sending peacekeepers after bombs have already fallen is like donating a bucket of water to the owner of a house that has really burnt to ashes, the chair and the House. My opponents will come here again to say that the UN lacks funds. That is why it is unable to carry out efficient peacekeeping activities. But then the chair and the House, can I ask my opponent something? If in your school there are inadequate teachers, books and resources to help you become better people in future, would you still stay in it? I leave that to you. The UN gives flimsy excuses for ineffective peacekeeping activities, making it ultimately unable to fulfill its duties of maintaining peace and security. To our second point, the chair and the House, the UN has failed to address emerging threats to global peace and security. The chair and the House, global security has evolved, but the UN has not. Today's wars are not just fought by bombs and bullets. They are waged through cyber attacks, ransom wars, and silent digital invasions. But the UN is still stuck in 1945 with no concrete strategy, no clear enforcement power, and no standing framework to tackle warfare, even as countries like Russia, China, and North Korea paralyze hospitals, hijack financial systems, and interfere with elections. A good example is the Change Healthcare mega attack staged by Russia in 2024. According to the article published by Back Info Security in February 2025, and I quote, the attack shut down more than 100 critical software products and immediately disrupted critical patient care and business processes at thousands of US hospitals and medical practices, with the recovery dragging on for months. After the dust had finally settled, the attack resulted in a jaw-dropping health data breach that affected 190 million people as of January, unquote. What could the UN do about this? Absolutely nothing. They released a lengthy statement. The chair and the House, cyber warfare is a new battlefield, yet the UN chooses to fight this with outdated tools. If the UN cannot confront the world's most urgent threats to global security, then I'm afraid to say it has not only fallen back, but it has also failed its duties for maintaining peace and security. To our third and final point, the chair and the House. The UN has consistently failed to combat human rights abuses. We've heard enough, so I'll keep it brief and let the evidences speak. The UN has failed to combat human rights abuses, mainly due to political paralysis, weak enforcement, and internal misconduct. Peacekeepers, often sent to war-torn areas to uphold peace, in many instances decided to uphold panties. The chair and the House. According to a 2010 BBC report, it was stated that in 2009, in DR Congo alone, over 8,300 rape cases were reported involving UN peacekeepers. And the chair and the House, the UN has done almost nothing to stop this. Again, veto powers block justice. According to Oxfam International, and I quote, in 2023, Russia vetoed a 9-month extension of cross-border assistance to northern Syria, which left 4.1 million people with little or no access to food, water, and medicine, basic necessities, unquote. This is just is just a few out of the many instances, with veto powers blocking justice, slow and toothless investigations. The UN is no longer a shield to the vulnerable, but a silent witness to their suffering. This emphasizes the fact that the UN has indeed failed to maintain peace and security. The chair in the House, my opponents made some fallacious assertions, which I'd like to clarify. My opponent said that the UN has prevented World War III. Well, avoiding war isn't proof for success. It is the barest minimum, the chair in the House. Regional wars also kill millions of people, yet the UN watches helplessly. If this isn't failure, then I don't know what is failure. Or is it because it's not labeled a world war? Majima. Again, the opponents came to say that peace and security, the opponents came to say that the UN has been able to accomplish their major role of attaining peace and security. But peace and security, according to UN, means not just the absence of war, but freedom from hunger, human rights abuses, access to education. Let's not limit this to suit yourselves. The UN has accomplished just a meager portion of what they said they would do, because they have not just limited peace and security. They have not just limited peace and security to combating just war. Again, my opponent said that the UN provides support for refugees. If the UN was effective, there wouldn't be 100 million people displaced in the first place for them to be providing them with healthcare and other aids. Camps are band-aids and not peace solutions. Again, my opponent stated that the UN imposes sanctions. Sanctions indeed. Was it not the day before yesterday that we heard that the US has bombed Iran that it had no problem with? The chair and the House, the UN does almost nothing. It is a group, it is an institution that is backed by political biases alone. I rest my case.
The chair, impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, good day. My name is Toto Togbo Ni Kwao, a proud student from KNUST SHS, rising as a supporting speaker against the motion. Quote, the United Nations has failed its mission to maintain global peace and security, unquote. The chair, as my principal speaker, has outlined the key points in the motion, permits me to go on and conquer with my salient points. Point 6, that's here, the UN promotes human rights protection and justice. That's here, the UN, with its numerous agencies, protects and promotes human rights, be it civic, social, political, economic, or even cultural rights, and seeks justice for victims of war and human rights abuse. That's here, it is no secret that in war, innocent lives can be lost, and the few that survive go through intense violation of their fundamental human rights. But thank God the UN is here with their numerous agencies to help us from these evil problems. Such agencies include the ICC, that is the International Criminal Court, the International Court of Justice, and the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. Let's say the ICC, for instance, seeks to gain justice by investigating and prosecuting individuals responsible for genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and crimes of aggression. My opponents, take a look at this. From CNN, Charles Taylor has been sentenced to 50 years for his war crimes. The ICC does not only prosecute criminals, but also protects victims through the TFV, that is the Trust Fund for Victims, which provides physical, mental, psychological, and even material support to victims and their families. Now, my opponents, it's a clear indication the UN has done its job to provide peace and security to our world. Point 7, let's say, the UN implements various programs that aim at integrating war victims back into society to ensure peaceful coexistence. Let's say, these programs focus on sustainable rehabilitation, social and economic reintegration, and even peace building. My opponents, take note, peace building. Let's say, with these, there is access to legal counseling, vocational training, psychological support, and so many others. My opponents, if the UN cannot provide all these, who do you expect to do this? Let's say, this is this from UN.org. Quote, UNICEF celebrating the release of some 3,000 child soldiers from South Sudan in what is regarded as the largest ever demobilization of children in war zone conflicts. Let's see another heartwarming example from UNICEF.org. Quote, I didn't know if I'll find him alive or dead. This is the sad, sad story of a young boy, a child soldier, who finally gets reunited with his long-lost family. I could shed a tear. My opponents, this is a clear sign that the UN does its best to maintain peace and order. What is more than a child finally reuniting with his long-lost mother after years in battle? My opponents, where is your sense of humanity? Point 8, and finally, the UN provides humanitarian assistance and support to war victims. This includes protection, aid, and support for refugees and internally displaced people. The UN has several agencies that are focused on protecting refugees, asylum seekers, and internally displaced people, ensuring they have access to basic necessities like food, water, shelter, clothing, healthcare, amongst others. They also work to find durable solutions for displacement, such as voluntary repatriation and even local integration. My opponents, notice this. According to Wikipedia, from 2014 to 2020, over 2 million, I repeat, 2 million Palestinians were provided relief support in the tune of $4.5 billion. My opponents, can that compare to your big school fees? Adoma, if what the UN has done for almost 80 years towards building peace can be regarded as failure, I will choose that failure 1,000 times over your success. Inside the House, allow me to rebut some fallacies stated by my opponents. My opponents claim the UN has gone against their pledge. This is false because the UN has set goals of multilateral disarmament and arms control to maintain international peace and security. My opponents also claim the UN delays in peacekeeping. This is also false. Dr. Arthur, if the devil himself comes here and burns everything around him, observe how quickly the UN will come to save the day, like in a flash. Point 3. My opponents also stated that it has failed to control human rights abuse. As I said earlier, a whole Charles Arthur, a president for that matter, is now in prison 50 years plus since 2015. This is enough proof the UN does not take things seriously. The UN takes things seriously, sorry. My opponents also claim that avoiding war does not mean peace. My opponents, I wish I had a dictionary. What does war mean? What does peace mean? Put the two together and see the opposites. My opponents also talked about the US bombing on Iran yesterday. My opponents, you have to realize that US bombing didn't harm any individual and was meant to promote peace because Iran was a threat. It had so many nuclear weapons that it was a threat to global peace and security in our world today. Inside the House, my submissions are clear. Thank you.
The chair and the House. These are the points I and my supporting speaker have raised. 1. The United Nations has failed to set realistic goals for themselves. 2. The UN has failed to check the 5 permanent members of the Security Council. 3. There is marginalization of the majority of the member states of the UN. 4. Corruption undermines the UN from within. 5. The UN often engages in selective actions and biases. 6. The UN's delayed response to peacekeeping missions. 7. The UN has failed to address emerging threats to global security. And 8. The UN has consistently failed to combat human rights abuses. The Chair and the House. Allow me to address some concerning statements my opponents made. So, the first thing I would like to address is that I don't understand why NI is being so aggressive. Like, it's a friendly debate. Chill. Also, I do not understand why Ernestina is being undemure and using vulgarities in her speech. This is a professional and educational event, so I would like to advise you to refrain from using vulgarities. Thank you very much. The chair, Nee made mention that the US's bombing on Iran is because Iran was a threat, because they possess nuclear weapons. Under the Treaty of the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, countries are prohibited to own nuclear weapons. So the USA, under the guise of the UN, bombed Iran's nuclear weapons because it is a breach of the treaty. However, Pakistan, India, North Korea, and the USA's own best friend, Israel, all possess nuclear weapons. Imagine, why hasn't the USA bombed all these countries too? And they've only bombed Iran. This clearly proves my point that there is selective actions and biases within the United Nations. Also, my opponents made mention that the UN has imposed sanctions on Russia, such as condemnation and suspension from a council and banning from playing the World Cup. The chair, millions of lives were lost in Ukraine, and you are suspending them from a council. You are not allowing them to play in the World Cup. How is this addressing the issue in Ukraine? My opponents also made mention that I said the UN has failed to set holistic goals. I didn't say that. I said the UN has failed to set realistic goals. REALISTIC. Realistic goals. Don't misquote me. My opponents also made mention that I said there is marginalization of blah, blah, blah. I never said that. I said that there is marginalization of most of the member states of the UN. Take note. The chair, my opponents also made mention that the UN protects human rights. Human rights does not just include the fundamental human rights like right to life. UN peacekeepers engaged in 8,300 rape cases in just 2009 alone, where they raped victims of war-torn areas. The UN labels themselves as the Messiah, coming to save people in war-torn areas, only to come and impregnate their young girls and women, leaving them to raise the babies in deplorable conditions. The chair, my opponents do not also know how much I pay for fees, so they cannot come and stand here and say that whatever figure they mentioned is more than my fees. Also, Nee made mention that we should look at the definition of war and look at the definition of peace and link them. According to the UN themselves, from the horse's own mouth, peace is defined as dignity, well-being for all, and not just the absence of war. Not just the absence of war, dignity. Them raping those women in those countries, is that dignity? Well-being for all, the hunger and poverty that is going on in the world, is that well-being for all? The chair, the house. The chair and the house, we rest our case.
The ever-wise chair, adjudication panel, all protocols duly observed. My second coming here is not to confuse the House, but to give a summary of the cogent points my subordinates and I raised, and to clear some fallacious assertions made by Adoma. We said the UN has not failed in its mission to maintain global peace and security because, 1, UN has led to the prevention of World War III. 2, UN always plays critical roles in conflict prevention and mediation. 3, thanks to UN, the world continues to enjoy peace. 4, UN has contributed to a decline in armed conflicts since the end of World War II. 5, the UN imposed sanctions on nations involved in war to maintain international peace and security. 6, the UN promotes human rights and justice. 7, the UN implements various programs that aim at integrating war victims back into the society to ensure peaceful coexistence. 8, the UN provides humanitarian assistance and support to victims of war. The chair, the House, may rebuttals. My opponent stated that recently the US bombed Iran. But let me make this clear to you. That is a misinformation because their bombing had nothing to do with war because they never targeted civilians. Their intention was to neutralize the nuclear base, which could be a threat to world peace. And second, their action wasn't even sanctioned by the UN. From the General Secretary of the UN, let's listen.
The Non-Proliferation Treaty is a cornerstone of international peace and security. Iran must fully respect it. And all member states must act in accordance.
If you listen to the video well, he said that the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, Iran must respect it. So in order for Iran is so recalcitrant, they don't want to respect. So US tried to bomb to neutralize their nuclear base. My opponents also asserted that I said there is marginalization of some nations, blah, blah, blah. But my opponents listening is a skill. I stated that if I heard you right, because I think maybe I might be wrong. That's why I added the blah, blah, blah. You also said that the UN has done mere aspects in maintaining peace. My opponents, success is not an overnight miracle. Therefore, the motion even stated that has failed, not is failing. You also said that there are numerous rape cases in Congo. The UN doesn't have the magic to remove that sexual desires from the people. What they have to do is that they have to protect the victims of that rape cases. You also said that there were numerous deaths in Ukraine. There were numerous deaths in Ukraine. Therefore, the sanctions of Russia cannot do anything. But my opponents, listen to this. Russia has to be ready to come to the negotiation table to maintain peace. UN is the mother of the 193 nations. They can't go to Russia and hold their hands to come to the negotiation table. No, they have to sanction them so that they will you understand, and come to the negotiation table. The chair, the house, per the irrefutable points I have raised, I rest my case.
Madam Chairperson, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, it's my turn. My turn to inform you that contest 1 for the quarterfinal stage of the 2025 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate has come to an end. These young ones have made it possible for us all to enjoy our afternoon. They deserve a round of applause one more time. From where I was seated, a bird whispered into my ear, and the bird was like, "This is the best contest so far in the 2025 edition." And the bird went on to say to me how she wished that both of them can qualify or advance to the next stage, but it's impossible. But blah, 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 join me. And Wezoya, join me too. Shake hands, you're no enemies, you're friends. Good battle, huh? It was a good battle. May the best side win. Now at this point in time, please indulge me. I'd like to invite Patricia and Becca one more time. They've got some more information to share with us. But before then, Mrs. Teresa Jackson has been here, and I'm going to ask her to join me on stage. She's going to tell us what she makes of what she's heard this afternoon, what she's heard, what she's witnessed, and then she'll be telling us about the Jackson University College as well. She is our ambassador. She is the chairperson. Please show her some love.
Good afternoon. Who said students in Ashanti region cannot speak English? I said my kids attended Presec, Legon, Presec, And according to them, anytime, anywhere, the Gans, Uncle Davis brothers will laugh at my children that Ashantis can't speak English. And excuse me to say, we interchange L for R. So they used to tease them. But now I wish the whole of Accra have listened to us this afternoon. I salute my ladies. I salute you too. Sorry. You have done extremely very well. Shall we give them a hand? Oh, Bonnie, Bonnie. And I want us to applaud for the teachers. You see, behind the scenes, the teachers have done so well. They have assisted the students to prepare. We thank the Almighty God. Teachers, Jackson University College offers MPhil, MEd, and MA programs. So I'm inviting all of you to come to Jackson. It's purely online on weekends, very flexible to all of you. Then students also, Jackson University College have a 4-year degree program. Did you hear me well? Did you hear me well? A 4-year degree program. And after the program, you could gain employment anywhere you desire. Some of my graduates are in banks, others are in the security services, majority of them are teaching. It saddens my heart when you are young like this. I wouldn't ask you the question because you make me cry. That how many of you would decide to teach in future? You won't raise your hands. So I will not ask that question. But if teachers had not accompanied you, you wouldn't have been here. So to be trained to teach is an honorable profession. I taught for 40 years in GES before I went on retirement. And I have retired 17 years ago. You see, when you teach, people anywhere I go, Madam, God bless you, I'm a medical doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm so and so and so and so. I don't think those who are selling Gary, excuse me to say, at the market, people will just go and buy and say that you have made him whom I am. So I'm convincing all of you. And secondly, the fingers are not the same. Some parents cannot afford the exorbitant hostel fees, transportation, and how students on my street are chewing kebabs and so on, making fun of money. I don't know where they get the money. But at the same time, some parents have also gone for loans to sponsor their children. You know your background. Don't be overpowered with your peer pressure. If your parent cannot afford, Jackson University is there. You come to Jackson and you come. Last semester, somebody paid fees 73 times. In the morning, he will pay 1 CD, afternoon 2 CDs, the next day he will pay 50 CDs, and so on. 73 times in a semester, not the year. Meanwhile, the other colleges and nursing training, you will have to pay full tuition fees before you are even given admission letter. But Jackson University, I will give you admission letter, give you a portal like Momo, and then you pay your tuition fees. So the doors are open for you. My desire is to help you, as I have helped so many people who are doctors, who are lawyers, and what have you. I want to see you and give you a favor. God bless you.
It's been a beautiful afternoon so far. And please put your hands together for a very fine young man, also with love, 19.5. Nathaniel, I see you. Show him some love. And I also saw what you were doing. Don't worry. Listen, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you surely want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. It's been worth my while. I believe it's been worth your while too. In a few minutes, it'll be time for us to be announcing the results. And for your information, we're doing one contest per day as you have entered the quarterfinal stage. By this point in time, Patricia,
David,
how did it go for you?
David, I think where we have gotten to, and especially for today, I want to see who has a passport. Can we all show a passport? Okay, if you have a passport, just raise your hand. You don't have passport.
Listen.
Oh, thank
no,
you.
Not here. Oh. She's not talking about having the hair.
If you just have it, just let's see your hands.
Whoa.
David.
Yes.
I'm asking this because at the end of today's contest, we all have to go to the UN to explain ourselves. And before we can get to the UN, we would need visas, and that is where Bomba stores will come in.
Most
for
definitely.
us. So we'll all go to Bomba stores and get our visas. True or false?
True.
True or false?
True.
So when I say Bomba stores, you say the joy of tourism. Bomba stores.
The joy of tourism.
Thank you very much. We are all going to the UN to explain ourselves. But before that, we also go with tissue. And when it comes to tissue, we are talking about Flora tissues. They provide our homes, our schools, our offices, and cars with the most hygienic, absorbent, and optional, affordable option, I must say, to clean dirt, sweat, makeup, mucus, and even tears of joy. When we are done, I'm sure some people also be having tears of sorrow. And so remember that Flora disposable 3-ply handkerchiefs, toilet rolls, multi-purpose towels, table napkins, and box tissues come in beautiful new packaging such as Flora Joy, Flora Smile, Flora Giant, and also Flora Kids. Get Flora tissues in traffic today or any supermarket. We say thank you so much for making Delta Paper Mill Flora tissue #1.
Now, you also get to elevate your taste of your favorite wache, banku, kenke, rice, yam, or plantain with Uma Mishito. When I say Uma Mishito, then you say Undi Kra Ubedi. Uma Mishito.
Undi Kra Ubedi.
Uma Mishito.
Undi Kra Ubedi.
Okay, so Uma Mishito is hygienically prepared with wholesome natural ingredients. It's available in both mild and hot flavors. Umami Shito is conveniently packaged in small and large sachets, and it's also perfect for everyone and every event. It's available in all supermarkets. Umami Shito. Thank you.
Royal Mental Arithmetic System, Royal Maths, we are saying thank you also to you. And we are a unique abacus program that applies mental arithmetic to everyday life, building a strong foundation for critical thinking and STEM education. Through playing, learning, and applying these concepts, Royal Maths offers a whole brain development program designed to help children overcome their math fear, boost their confidence, and also bring out the genius in them. Royal Maths, we give you unique education. Every child is a champion, and we conquer the world.
Give your eyes the best care possible with Robert & Sons Limited Optical Services today. With over 34 years experience, they render specialist eye services, pediatric eye care, visual field testing, optical coherence tomography scans, and corporate eye care. Choose from our wide selection of 100% original frames and contact lenses. Visit Robert & Sons Limited Optical Services today at Ahojo right here in Kumasi. Robert & Sons Limited Optical Services, seeing is believing.
We say thank you to Family Products also from Grady Enterprise. If you are a mother, if you are a father, if you're a child, and of course you are so concerned about your family's health and you also want to enjoy delicious meals, then reach out for Family Products today. They are a great choice for you. Discover our family mackerel in tomato sauce, family sardines in vegetable oil, and family tomato mix. All family products are rich in nutrients and also prepared with your family's well-being in mind. And so grab more today at any shop, but if you want bulk purchase, look for Grady Enterprise today.
We also say a big thank you to Mezoya from Premium Foods. It's a delicious and energizing cereal designed to make your breakfast better. This balanced meal combines corn, soya, milk, and essential nutrients, making it perfect for the entire family. It's also incredibly easy to prepare. Simply mix with cold or warm water and enjoy. Grab Mezoya Plus and Mezoya Super at the nearest supermarket. Mezoya, it's the perfect choice for a healthy, happy family.
Obiniem! Hey, the room is low. Who is going home? Who is staying?
Okay, Pat, before we read the messages, yeah?
No, no, there's some more.
Okay.
I'm going to say thank you.
All right.
Okay, so let's say thank you to Eslali Empa, our official makeup artist for the Love FM High Schools debate. Sign up today for her 2 weeks intensive or 3 months regular makeup class and become a professional. Book us today and also look beautiful for every occasion that you have. And remember that at Lali Empire, we sell ladies wear, quality shoes, bags, accessories, perfumes, body splashes, and so much more. Also even for your kids. Enjoy our signature vegetable, potato, salad, I might say prepared fresh daily, also at Salado GH. Call us Lali right now. If you are watching us from home, if you are also here, dial this number 024-799-0760, 024-799-0760, and place all your orders right now. She will pick it and also deliver as well. You can locate us Lali Empire and Salado GH at Amekom next to Wache Kumasi. As Lali Empire, we say your world of beauty and more.
Now, Gimpa Kumasi campus is accepting applications for its diploma, undergraduate and postgraduate diploma programs. We have a 1-year master's program in supply chain management, project management, accounting and taxation, etc. Gimpa offers a 4-month postgraduate diploma in occupational safety, health and environmental management. Sign up for our weekend, evenings and regular lectures. You can find our campus behind the Kumasi City Mall, Asqua, and visit www.gimpa.edu.gh on how to apply. And lastly, on my list, we say a big thank you to Ultimate Fashion / Chapel Hill Community, which is the newest gated community situated at Santase Enginem right here in Kumasi. It features level graded lands and limited plots of land that come with legal documents. We also help you with architects and artisans who will build according to your specification. You can locate Chapel Hill Community Agency near the A1 Hospital, Santase, and secure your home today. Chapel Hill Community, the place you deserve to live.
Okay, so let's go to the icing on the cake, and we are heading straight to social media. Are you ready? Okay, Ebenezer Fred Ajekum says, OLAG, oh, OLAG. AB Dan says, it's an undeniable fact that the girls are good, but KNUST had solid debaters. NY Sound says, go there, Queen Zoya. And Eben says, take it cool, Zoya. Joshua Sunkwa says, KNUST there. Okay, wait. I'm finding it difficult to read the tree here. Okay, so let me, okay. Oheneba Aposa Brempon Thomas says, relax, my love, you are too much. And I'm just going to read this last one from Akwesie Siam Mabwama, who says, kudos, Olag, kudos, Zoya and Jessica.
Okay, so I have this message from Justina Nateng Awa. She says, Olag all the way. Ebenezer says, keep our hearts for us. Uniyad says, Ebenezer Freya Jakum, don't worry, the first set will do the magic. Abugri says, the school on the high hills of Mamponting. Excellent work. Okay, and the last one here, this one says, KNUST supporters have started throwing their support to Olag. Olag welcomes you all. So, may the best school win this afternoon, David.
Simple and straight.
And indeed, the best school will win, according to our judges. And for information, the winning school that is advancing will advance based on a majority decision. We told you about the unanimous and the majority decision. Unanimous means that all the 3 judges score for the winning school, the school that advances. Majority means that 2 out of the 3, judge for the school that advances. So this afternoon's results, the school that is going to advance is doing so based on a majority decision. 2 judges scored for that school. OLAG. OLAG. Adumba. Majunima. Majunima. Nansapo. All right, so contest 1 over in the quarterfinal stage. Tomorrow we get to meet again in the same auditorium at 1 p.m. for another contest. That will be contest 2 and the second, quarterfinal competition. Our Lady of Grace, you were for the motion. And just to refresh our minds, the motion was the United Nations has failed in its mission to maintain global peace and security. Our Lady of Grace, your results, starting with organization and clarity. One of our judges gave to you 24, a judge gave to you 27, The other gave 25. 24, 27, 25 amounts to 76. When it comes to argument and development, Our Lady of Grace, a judge gave you 24, another gave you 21, the other judge gave 25. 24, 21, 25 amounts to 70. Let's take a look at effective use of rebuttal and what scores you got. A judge gave you 11, another gave you 13, the other gave you 15. 11, 13, 15 amounts to 39. When it comes to presentation style, OLAG, you got 7 from one judge, 8 from another judge, and another gave you 8. So 7, 8, 8 amounts to 23. Role as a particular debater, OLAG, a judge gave you 7, another gave you 7, the other gave you 8. So 7 plus 8, that amounts to 22. Let's put them all together. 76, 70, 39, 23, 22 amounts to 230. Now we move on to KNUST Senior High School. Organization and clarity. A judge gave you 24. One gave you 27. The other gave you 24. 24, 27, 24 amounts to 75. Argument and development, KNUST, you got 24 from one judge, you got 25 from one judge, and 23 from the other. So 24, 25, 23 amounts to 72. Effective use of rebuttal, KNUST, you got 17 from one judge. The other gave you, got 15 from one judge, 15 from one judge. Another gave you 15, the other gave you 13. So KNUST, 15, 15, 13 amounts to 43. Presentation style, you got 9 from one judge, 10 from one judge, 7 from the other, 9, 10, 7 amounts to 26. When it comes to role as a particular debater, KNUST, you got 9 from one judge, another gave you 9, the other also gave you 7. 9 plus 9 plus 7 amounts to 25. Let's put it together. 75, 72, 43, 26, 25 amounts to 241. So by majority decision, KNUST advances to the next stage of the competition. We say congratulations to you, Manuneba, and to Our Lady of Grace. Well done. You made yourselves and your school proud. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., we get to convene again in the studio here at the auditorium at the Christian Service University for the second contest in the quarterfinal stage. But for now, Patricia, take it away from me.
Thank you so much, David Akwete. And we have come to the end of the first competition for the quarterfinal stage of the Love FM High Schools debate here at the Christian Service University. Thank you so much for joining us once again on radio, Loud 99.5 FM, watching us on TV, Joy Prime, Joy Learning. And at the end of the day, KNUST have come up victorious. That means they have gotten to the semi-final stage. Remember that we do this in collaboration with the Ghana Education Service, the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, the Conference of Affairs of Assistant Senior High Schools, Joy Prime, Joy Learning, and all of our proud sponsors. And so we say thank you so much for joining us today. Remember that the Love FM High Schools debate is a leading debate competition in Ghana, and we also give a platform for these younger ones to trumpet their voice on issues of national interest. I think we can speak to the debaters and of course the patron from KNUST and find out from them how excited they are about today's victory. Of course, like I said, they have made it to the semi-final stage of this competition, and so we are excited. Let's have patron join me. Let's have a conversation right now. Draw closer to me. Congratulations once again, KNUST.
Thank you.
I asked a question. What will this victory mean to KNUST?
Oh, this victory means a lot to us, because we've been seeded for next year's contest, and to us it's a contest at a time. So now, as we are moving on to the semi-final, we take it as it comes and then prepare for the semi-final and win whoever comes our way. That's all.
Did the ladies from Our Lady of Grace scare you? I mean, the debaters, did they scare you?
In fact, we are grateful to them because they've given us a really tough contest. They did well, and we are going back to the drawing board to look at areas we must improve, because OLAG did really well. We are grateful for that.
Okay, all right. So Thank you so much, actually, I must say. And we hope to, like I said, we know we are seeing you at the semi-finals, and we hope you bring your A game again.
Thank you.
All right, so this is where we are going to draw the curtain. I think it's okay to ask for us to go join the JAMA session from the school going there. But let's say thank you once again for joining us on radio, on TV, and online. Let the conversation keep happening with the hashtag LUVFMHSD. My name is Patricia, and this is where we sign off on the 7th edition of the Love FM High Schools debate for today. Bye-bye, guys!
Which side do you represent? For or against the motion? Stay glued to your superstation Love 99.5 FM, Joy Learning and Joy Prime as we bring to you the biggest stage where schools in Ashanti show their